You eat a cookie and you're bad. Or people talk to
Yeah.
us about bad carbs. That's why we hate the word bad, right? You order fries. Well, how about this one? Oh, I'm going to order fries and you call it cheating, right? We have a whole
Yes.
thing about that in our 90 days. What does that actually mean? Right?
Welcome to the Food Freedom Rebellion, where we talk gut health, cravings, stress, and why your body's not the villain in this story. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Kerri, board certified health coach, best-selling author, former sugar addict, and your official reminder that your symptoms are not a personal failure.
I'm a formerly trained nutritionist, gut health practitioner, and herbalist. I love real food, nervous system science, and explaining what your body's actually doing without all the fear tactics or the bullshit food rules.
And I help women break free from emotional eating and sugar chaos without restriction, shame, or pretending. Just be disciplined is a treatment plan. Together, we help women who care for everyone else reconnect with their bodies, bringing nourishment to food freedom instead of guilt, rules, or burnout.
On this podcast, we cut through the noise.
We call BS on diet culture.
We talk digestion, cravings, mood, stress.
And why your body isn't broken. It's just been wildly misunderstood.
No diets, no extremes.
No, just drink more water and try harder energy.
Just science-backed strategies and honest conversations.
For women who want clarity, confidence, and food to stop feeling like a full-time job.
Each week, we break things down into practical shifts that you can actually use.
So if you're done fighting your body,
And ready to work with it. Welcome to the rebellion. Now, let's get into it.
one cookie becomes I have no control. One missed workout becomes I never stick with anything. So we go from one Tuesday afternoon to a complete psychological evaluation in about 4 seconds.
Yeah, with no evidence, no witnesses, and apparently no right to an attorney.
Hey, rebels. Welcome back to the Food Freedom Rebellion podcast. This week's challenge is called the Positive Words Challenge. But really, we're just listening to the way we talk to ourselves when something goes sideways, when it doesn't go the way we want it.
Yeah, you miss a workout, eat more than you plan, catch a reflection on a rough day,
Mm,
and then that commentary starts. You blew it. You're lazy. You always do this.
most of us say those things like, oh my gosh, so automatically that we barely hear them anymore. It's just the background noise to life.
Yep. And this week, we're slowing that conversation down just long enough to find out whether it's even true.
Here's what we're doing this week. We are listening to the words we use about ourselves, right? How are you talking to yourself? What are you saying about your body? What are the words you use about your food and your progress? Pay attention with your words, and especially the ones that are like so like always, never, right? Those are just extremes, right? Lazy, bad. We actually hate that word. Disgusting. How many of us have used that word? Or out of control. How do those show up?
Yeah. And then use 3 steps. Ready? Facts, context, next, and you're moving on.
Walk us through it, Bonnie.
All right. So let's say the automatic sentence that popped up in your brain is I ruined my entire day. And the fact is that you basically just ate a little bit more at lunch than you intended. The context may be that you waited too long to eat and arrived at lunch hangry, like dangerously hangry.
Mhm.
And the next move could be eating normally when you're hungry again and planning tomorrow's lunch earlier.
Yeah. So now we have something useful. This is useful information.
Exactly. I mean, you're allowed to wish you had handled something differently. I mean, don't we all do that for
Mm,
anything, not just food?
yeah.
And we're getting rid of these insults just long enough to see what actually happened.
Let's talk about the science here. We like to break it down. So, there are so many dramatic posts, and they just claim that negative words immediately shut down your reasoning, they damage your genes, they throw your entire brain into chaos. This this is massively oversimplified. And one frustrated thought is not going to biologically destroy your day.
What language can change is how you interpret a situation. So let's compare this. I missed my workout today. Now, what if you change that? I never follow through. The first sentence describes what happened today. The second pulls in your entire past, predicts your future, and turns one missed workout into an entire description of who you are.
Which sounds like super official. And considering you may have missed it because this like school called or somebody needed to be picked up, like life happens.
Yeah. Words such as always and never, they can make one event feel like something permanent. And once something feels permanent, trying again can seem pointless. I mean, let's just name the actual emotion, all right? There's a concept called affect labeling, and that just simply means naming the emotion that you're experiencing. And a lot of women skip the feeling and they go straight to an insult. I mean, we're really good at insulting ourselves.
Yeah.
You feel disappointed, anxious, embarrassed, and exhausted. And here you are perpetuating that by calling yourself a failure.
Yeah, and let's be very clear. Failure is not an emotion.
Nope, neither is lazy, disgusting, weak, or out of control. Those are judgments. The
Mm.
emotion underneath gives you better information, more realistic information. So if you're anxious about your health, that calls for one kind of support. If you're physically exhausted,
Mm.
that calls for something completely different.
And yet we call both of those laziness, right? And that sends you in the wrong direction. So as we're reframing, the new sentence has to be believable, right? And this is one reason why affirmations really just don't land for some people. Like if I'm having a terrible day and I tell myself everything is amazing, like come on. A part of my brain is just not not going for that. It's like this is BS, Carrie.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched, okay, so the minute you said that, my brain went straight into the Lego movie, the song "Everything
Oh.
is Awesome." Like it's an earworm. I'm sorry if you got that in your head. And if you really think about it, a more believable response might be, "This has been a really hard day. I need a minute before I decide what happens next." It's a
Yeah.
very healthy response. It acknowledges the day, but it doesn't turn it into a forecast for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. At the very least, the rest of your day.
Yeah.
And if you say, I never stick with anything, and that's been your line for years, it sounds true because it's familiar.
Yeah, and familiarity does not proof.
Nope. Let's do some myths, shall we? We love myths. Okay, myth number one. I'm just calling it like it is. Whoo, okay, this usually comes
Mhm.
right after somebody has said something so brutal about themselves. And they're like, I'm just being honest. They call it honesty.
Yeah, honesty should hold up when we look at the evidence, okay? So let's take I have no control around sugar. Does that happen every time sugar is present? Every time a sweet is present? Or does it usually happen at night after you've skipped lunch, have been running on coffee, handled everybody else's needs and wants, and then finally just sat down to take a break?
Yeah. And that changes the conversation completely.
Yeah, because now we're seeing a pattern. The sugar isn't showing up in a vacuum, it's showing up alongside hunger, exhaustion, and the first quiet moment you've
Mm.
had all day. I have no control leaves out basically the rest of the story.
Yeah. And sometimes the honest answer is that you had time to do something and chose not to. It's
Yeah,
your choice.
absolutely. I mean, it's reality. You can say, I had time and I chose something else. Okay, then decide whether that choice still works for you. You don't need to turn it into some flattering story, hype it up, do all that kind of good stuff, or turn it into some personality diagnosis.
Yeah. This this makes me think of Kelsey. So Kelsey is one of the beautiful ladies in our 90-day mind and body reset. And she joined because she was tapering off of a GLP-1. So If anyone asks how we feel about that, we don't judge anyone for anything. So let's pop that in there right there. But she knew that she wanted to taper off. So she wanted to continue losing weight, but she also knew that there were sugar cravings and eating patterns, borderline binge eating patterns that and thoughts around food that really needed attention, especially if that's where she was going on her journey.
Yeah, she was very honest about her mental spiral. And a difficult food moment quickly became guilt, shame, and questions about why she couldn't control herself. Carrie, I have a question.
Okay.
Has Alex finally accepted that moms are usually right?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's what I thought.
But I will tell you my favorite Juice Plus story.
Oh, please do.
Okay, so when I first started talking to Alex about Juice Plus, he told me he didn't need it because he'd just eat more fruits and veggies.
I mean, I respect the confidence.
Yeah, same, same. But I was like, okay, great. Let's do that.
Ooh, how did that work out?
Well, about 3 days later, he realized eating enough fruits and veggies every single day takes a little bit more effort than he thought it would.
Well, that's a plot twist.
So suddenly those capsules were looking pretty convenient.
Oh, it's funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. And for younger kids, or honestly, some adults, there are gummies too,
Yeah, I mean, those are great because not everybody wants to swallow capsules.
or can swallow capsules.
So true. So true.
What I love about Juice Plus is that it's a simple way to add nutrition from fruits and veggies and berries to your day, but not because we're chasing perfection, do that, but because real life is just real busy.
Yeah, and sometimes the people who know that they should eat more vegetables,
And still don't eat enough vegetables,
yeah, including health coaches.
especially health coaches.
Yeah. One of the coolest things for me about Juice Plus is their Healthy Starts program.
Yes. So when an adult orders, kids can receive their Juice Plus free from the Healthy Starts program.
Yeah, it's so amazing for families.
Yeah. So if you've been curious about Juice Plus, check out our link and ask us about the capsules, the gummies, and of course, the Healthy Starts program.
Yeah, because getting kids to eat vegetables, it's hard.
Really hard.
Yeah, and I mean, we should know.
Oh, we know. And once you've declared yourself completely out of control, did this forever, you stopping to care for yourself. It can feel pointless. Why bother?
Yeah, Kelsey worked on meal structure. She worked on her cravings, physical cues, and what her body needed while she came off the GLP-1. She also practiced allowing an emotion or difficult moment to just exist without piling all the shame and guilt on top of it. I
Mhm.
mean, she described it as being able to feel something, accept it, and just move on.
Yeah, which is so different from like holding a full courtroom trial. Every time food doesn't go exactly as you plan, and it will not go exactly as
Yeah.
you plan.
Yeah, life is just like that. And by the end of the program, she was telling us that her sugar cravings had dropped by about half. She had not had another binge eating episode since starting. She lost 8 pounds while tapering off the GLP-1. Labs improved, and more importantly, the way she spoke to herself had changed significantly. Her understanding food patterns and responses, they all changed together. She could experience a craving without turning it into all this evidence against herself.
All right, let's do another one. So myth number 2: if I quit being hard on myself, I'll get lazy. This is so many women think that just being super critical of themselves is the only thing that is going to keep them together, keep the entire operation together.
Yeah, I mean, they assume that feeling bad enough about the photo, the missed workout, a food choice, it'll all force them to change. And I mean, sometimes it does. It can create a short burst of action, right? A short burst of adrenaline. Fear, shame, anger, it can do all that. But the bigger issue is what happens afterwards. If every mistake turns into an attack, eventually you stop waiting and You stop wanting to look at your mistakes.
Mm.
You avoid the check in, you skip the coaching call, you stop tracking, or you disappear until you think you've done enough to return without feeling embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, right? And it's like, "Oh, that thing was supposed to hold you accountable, but now it's giving me a reason to hide."
Yeah, and accountability can be very direct. I said I would do this and I didn't. Here's what happened and here's what I'm changing. That's a very different perspective from deciding you didn't do it because you're weak, you're hopeless, and you just can't do it.
And speaking to yourself decently, like, does not mean every choice gets a standing ovation either.
Yeah, you can admit that you ignored your signals or handled something poorly. You can make a correction without humiliating yourself first. Research on self compassion has found that treating yourself with some level of understanding after a mistake, it does not
Mm.
automatically lower motivation. In some experiments, people were actually more motivated to improve afterwards.
Yeah, so you can make a correction without, like, verbally beating yourself up.
I mean, wild concept there.
Okay, that brings us to myth number 3. I can't help what pops into my head. Okay, fair, fair. Sometimes the first thought arrives before you even made a choice. It's just there.
Yeah. You're standing in a dressing room, you catch a reflection, something cruel pops into your head, like almost immediately.
Mm,
And it could be an old thought, or it could be something that someone else said to you many years ago.
yeah. So we're not spending the week like chasing every thought around. We're not doing that.
No, you may not choose what pops up, but you can decide whether it gets the final word. Say the thought is, I look disgusting. This is terrible. Pause. Think about what's actually happening. Maybe the clothes don't fit comfortably. Maybe you're bloated. Maybe you're just having a hard time with changes in your body. And I mean, honestly, maybe the dressing room lighting was designed by somebody with a personal grudge against humanity. We've all seen the lights and we've all seen those mirrors.
Oh, yeah, the lights and the mirrors, okay? We need to, like, launch a full-on investigation about that, but that's a podcast different type of podcast, right?
Yeah.
But a more useful response could be, "These pants don't fit comfortably, and I'm already having a hard day with my body." End of story, right? You're acknowledging, "This is how I'm feeling," but you're removing the personal attack.
Yeah. And there's also research showing that using your own name while talking to yourself through a stressful moment can create a little bit of psychological distance. You might ask, Bonnie, what is actually upsetting you right now?
Yeah. It sounds a little strange, okay? But you can see how it might stop those thoughts from just trampling over you.
Yeah, it gives you a moment to look at the reaction instead of completely submerging into it.
Yeah. So we see a lot that food is one of the fastest places that this language shows up. Society, the way we've treated ourselves, all of it, right? You eat a cookie and you're bad. Or people talk to
Yeah.
us about bad carbs. That's why we hate the word bad, right? You order fries. Well, how about this one? Oh, I'm going to order fries and you call it cheating, right? We have a whole
Yes.
thing about that in our 90 days. What does that actually mean? Right? Or you've eaten way too much, you're way past full, and then you're like, my day's ruined, that's it.
Yeah. And then comes, well, I mean, I already screwed it up, so I might as well just keep going. Start over tomorrow. How many times have you said that?
Mm,
That sentence can affect the entire rest of your evening
mhm.
far more than just eating a freaking cookie.
Yeah, and like one cookie is not a personality test, is not a willpower test, like no.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you ate something you hadn't planned. Got it. Maybe you enjoyed dessert. Maybe you kept eating after you stopped enjoying it. Maybe you were looking for relief more than food, right?
Mhm.
Those experiences are different. Treating them all as if being bad hides the difference, it goes nowhere.
And when we understand the difference, we know what to look at, right? It's a lot of times, again, it says this isn't a personal flaw. Did we eat more food earlier, right? Was something stressful happening while I was just, shoveling potato chips into my mouth, which by the way I've done so many times. So no
Mhm.
judgment,
Mhm.
right?
Nope.
Or did we make a choice we enjoyed? We enjoyed it at that moment, and now I just need to move on. I need to stop beating myself up about that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives that right there, that change in perspective gives you far more than any negative verdict ever will.
Yeah. So we're talking a lot about thoughts. But how about the commentary that comes out of our mouths, like around food in our bodies, things we actually say?
Yeah, you might call yourself bad for eating dessert. Or you say you need to work off dinner. And then your kid, your spouse, your friend, your partner, or even your client hears you say that.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is we know so many women who would never look at another person's plate and tell them they were bad. Never. But
Mm-mm.
we say it to ourselves and we say it about ourselves at the table all the time.
Yeah. And I have a friend who, whenever we go to lunch, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine is we go to lunch all the time. And I love her to tears. I love sitting and talking with her. But she will not order her food until she sees what I ordered.
Mm.
And she bases her order on what I'm getting.
Uh-huh.
And that's not really fair to her because
Yeah.
what I eat, I'm ordering what I want. I'm going
Yeah.
out to eat. None of this really should be a play in anybody else's choices. I mean, if people hear what you have to say, people see what you say, and she's not judging my plate.
Yeah.
She is worried that I'm judging hers, that other people are judging
Uh-huh.
hers. Dessert requires guilt, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
thoughts. No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Your food does
Mm-hmm.
not need to be earned or burned off, and your body is not open for public criticism.
Oh my gosh, hear this, people. I love that you brought that up. So I'd go to a lot of networking lunches, and people either justify what they're eating or tell me they don't usually eat like this, or
Hmm.
and I exactly what I eat. It's just really funny. And again, they have no idea what my other choices are. Yeah, judgment is just
Yeah,
so crazy. It's just so crazy.
it
So
is.
hey, anyone, you can eat anything around us.
Yeah, you can. I went to one networking meeting and it was something I was at regularly. And so many of the women in the networking group did that to me that I went
Mm.
once and I ordered the greasiest burger and fries, and I got the biggest beer I could possibly get. And I enjoyed the heck out of the whole thing. And I think
Oh
I
my
shocked
gosh.
every single person there. It was not what I wanted at the time, but I was trying to make a
Yeah,
point. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. It is
Well,
one meal,
uh-huh.
and I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
funny because there'll be a raffle and I inevitably win the chocolate, and people are like, "Oh, it's so wasted on you." I'm like, "Not really, because
no,
yeah, I do eat chocolate."
I'm going to eat
Oh
it.
my god. All right. So this week, listen to what you say out loud too.
Yeah, I mean, you can simply just say you're full. You enjoyed the food, or something didn't sit well with you. Like clear language, right? It says what you mean without making it this whole interpretation, and everybody has to participate in your judgment.
Yeah. All right, let's make this simple enough to use without documenting like every single thought we have and then beating ourselves up about the thoughts that we have, right? Um or, going back like every single day, 7 days, everything I've done.
Yeah, don't do that. Just pick one phrase. All right. Something that you recognize that pops up a lot. All right. Maybe it's I'm lazy, I have no control, or I always mess this up. We hear that phrase so much.
Mm, mhm.
When you notice it, use 3 steps from the beginning. Stop yourself, evaluate for facts, context, and what your next move is. Write it in your phone, like your notes app, write it in a journal, or wherever you will actually use it so that you can refer back to it when you need it.
Mhm.
And one example a day is plenty to start with.
So, if the phrase "I failed the challenge," you know who you are, you're already thinking it, right? The fact may be that you completed 3 days and missed four. You didn't fail, you just missed a day.
Yeah. And all you need to do is take a peek at what helped on the 3 days that you completed it. That gives you something that you can use the next time.
Hmm. So this week, listen for one phrase that you regularly use against yourself, right? You want to catch it. As soon as you hear it, catch it and run it through the facts, the context, the next move.
Yeah. Then bring it into the community. If you're not there already, you need to get into there. Tell us what phrase keeps showing up and what you discovered when you slowed it down.
We can't wait to see. All right, Rebels, see you next week. That's it for today.
Remember, nothing here is random, and your body is not the problem.
When you're ready to stop guessing and start changing the pattern,
The community is open, and so are our calendars. So take a breath, shoulders down, unclench that jaw.
and if you're one step away from a pantry spiral, your favorite treat, or couch shutdown, reach out first. We've got you. Links are in the show notes, and we will see you next week inside the Food Freedom Rebellion.